Thanks, Marvin, and I'll be very short. First of all, I am William Johnson, and I spent 38 years and 4 months as part of the Omaha Fire Department. I'm going to talk just briefly about African Americans in the fire service. You can see 3 pictures in the back. The first African American firefighters was hired in the department in 1895. And they were assigned to one of my favorite fire stations, number 12, at 27th and Jones. They stayed there about 5 years, and then they were moved from that location to fire station number 11 that was located at 30th and Spaulding Street. They stayed there from about 1907 to 1928. 1928, they were moved from that fire station to the fire station at 16th and Nicholas. By the way, that building is still standing. They stayed there for a number of years, and after a few years, they were moved from that station to the station at 2028 Lake Street, number 14. As you know, the fire department was a segregated department at that time. And one of the problems that the black firefighters was having, or African American firefighters was having, was promotion. While the only way an African American was promoted or hired, you had to have a black or an African American firefighter die or get fired. Well, this went on for a number of years. There were several firefighters working out of Station 14 was petitioning the administration. At that time, we didn't have a mayor form of government. We had a commissioner type of government. Each one of the councilmen was in charge of one department. And the fire commissioner was petitioning to see if we could do something about possibly getting African Americans hired and promoted. Well, that went on for some time, and in 1957, after several meetings, the fire department was integrated. There are some things that I could bring up, but I'm not going to bring up all of these things. But one of the things that did happen at the time when they were going to be integrated, the fire commissioner and the safety director gave a directive to the fire chief. He says, I want you to go out and I want you to talk to these African American firefighters and see what their problems are. Well, he had a meeting set up with both shifts. At the time, there was only 2 shifts. So they met early in the morning at Station 14. And what I'm telling you is something that was handed down by some of the firefighters. I had an opportunity to know some firefighters that worked out of that station at 30th and Hanover, so that's going back a long time. Matter of fact, one of the young ladies sitting here in the audience, her grandfather worked out of that station. He also worked out of 16th and Nicholas. But anyway, the chief came out, and the first thing he said to these African American firefighters, I understand you guys want to be integrated. And he said, okay, I'm going to integrate you, but I'm going to scatter you guys to the wind, and I'm going to fire every damn one of you. So that's some of the negative things that happened. And at that time, there was 12 black firefighters. And we had 12 black firefighters until approximately 1960. In 1960, there was a couple more firefighters hired. I was hired in September of 1961. The fire department decided to integrate another fire station. Some of the things that black firefighters did have to go through is that when you went to the fire station, you were immediately informed that you can't eat with the other firefighters. There is a system that we had in the fire department. When you were short one man at one fire station, you ran a firefighter to the other fire station to make up. African American firefighters was not allowed to run extra. Because if they ran extra, they had to sleep in a bed where a black firefighter was assigned. So there was no black firefighters there, so they didn't run extra. Well, when I got hurt, we had a company down at 12th and Dodge. There were 6 of us on the fire truck, and the young white firefighters on the back were saying, "Hey, why don't this guy have to run extra?" And finally, the department progressed and said, "Hey, I don't see any problem with that. We're going to solve that problem." So after 1964, we started to run extra until about the 60s. Black firefighters were not sent to any place to go to school. The only training they got was right here in the Omaha Fire Department. Usually when they hired a class of firefighters, if you had 5 firefighters or more, you were sent to training out at 30th and Hanover, where our training bureau was. Well, when I was hired, they hired another black firefighter on the other shift. They only hired 4 of us. So consequently, we didn't get any training. We were told to go down to the down to the office, pick up your equipment, go down to South Omaha to Alex, pick up your clothes, and on Sunday morning I want you to report to 12th and Dodge. So when I reported to 12th and Dodge that morning, after coffee, they said, "Well, I'm going to tell you what your job is. You're going to be what we call the hydrant man. When we go down the street, lay out the hose, I want you to hook it to the hydrant." And told me what equipment, where I was to ride on the rig. And he says, "Now, if you see the rest of us move when the bell hit," at that time we called it a bell, when the alarm came in, if they started running, you run too. So that's the training I had. Consequently, in one of the problems that some of the black firefighters had was this promotion thing, and 2 of the firefighters was really concerned. Matter of fact, one of them did resigned, went to California. Subsequently, in a few years, that particular firefighter retired as a deputy chief of the Los Angeles Fire Department. But I had an opportunity to work in the training bureau. When I got promoted to captain in 1971, I was assigned to the training bureau, and I had a good relationship with all of the firefighters. I think I knew practically every firefighter on the job. One of the things that you get to do when you meet all these people, you know how they think of you and what you think of them. Well, consequently, I stayed in the training bureau for like 9 years. I got promoted to the rank of battalion chief, and I was assigned to the Business Fire District in Omaha, which was out north. I'd just like to say something about this picture. This picture here was taken at 12th and Dodge, and I was a driver of number 12. At that time, we didn't have the rank of FAE. You were selected by your captain to drive the fire truck. I drove that truck for approximately 5 years. I think it was the best job I really ever had on the fire department, was driving the fire truck. One of the things that I found that, when you're driving a pumper, you got to learn the streets, you got to learn the hydrants. Once you do that, you don't have a lot of things to do but operate that pump. Well, getting back to the black firefighters, as I mentioned a little bit ago, we had 12 black firefighters. We were still having some problems of getting firefighters on the job, getting them promoted. We formed an organization, and we were able to work with the mayor and the city council, and we were able, I believe at one time we got the ranks of the black firefighters up to about 40 firefighters. I don't know what the number of African American firefighters are now within the department. But just a little bit more about myself, and then I'm going to sit down. In 1990, the chief retired, And subsequently, I don't know who, but somebody recommended me to be the acting fire chief. So I acted fire chief from April of 1990 until August of 1990. It was a rewarding job to be able to be in charge of the fire department. It was one of the plateaus that I never thought that I would see. Consequently, I went back to training, spent a short time there, and I was promoted to the rank of assistant chief. And I worked in all of these bureaus, whether you fire suppression or administrative. Again, there was a change of the chief in 1999. I was called to the mayor's office and asked if he wanted to serve in this capacity again. I said, I don't have any problem. I'm about 59 years old. Matter of fact, I was 60 years old. Wait, let me back up. I was older than that. I was actually 62 years old. So I spent from 1999 as the acting chief of the fire department again, and I retired on December 24, 1999 after 38 years. So, the black firefighters today have all kinds of opportunities to move within the ranks of the fire department, and I hope that they all prepare themselves to be one day